Hello, everyone.
We're here.
We're here. I think we should just start off by rating the episode.
Girl, calm down.
Oh,
It's
this
a
was
one.
it.
It's like a one for me. It
Did we?
sucked.
Okay,
I thought
can
it
we say
know
sucked.
you're
hi?
not happy.
Can we say hi to the
We
folks?
know
at
you're
home
not
first?
happy. Oh my god.
Can we say hi to the
Good evening.
folks at home?
Good good
Hi
evening
guys.
to our family. To anyway.
Our Direwolf City community.
Okay, so we've got China Moon in the house. Thank you, China Moon. We have Dragon King, Dragon Fire, Sonder Days X.
Oh, where
Sonder
are you?
Days. The Lady of the Laughing Tree, aka Elizabeth. Thank you for stopping by, Elizabeth. We've got Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra. That's a pretty name. The Movie Buff.
Thank you, the movie buff, for the super chat. The queens are here, as well as this episode was meh, but Bela was the highlight.
Oh yeah.
No, I think this would be the perfect segue to get into our ratings. Gray, would you like to go first?
Yeah.
I hated this episode. I thought it was whack. I thought it was like the worst episode of the first two seasons combined. This is the worst episode.
Mm,
Didn't like it at all.
mm.
Like I liked parts of it. I liked Bela and Jace's parts and the ending with Jace and Rhaenyra, but the rest of it was hot garbage.
So you
I
would
feel
say
like
a
this was your
one.
sentiment. They really hate Daemon.
Yeah, a two
Okay.
probably.
Okay. So we went from a 1 to a 2. That's not bad. Arah.
Hmm. Trying to think. Because there was a lot I did like about this episode. I love what we got to see of Bela. I like that we got to see Rhaena as well.
Mm-hmm.
I really hate what they did to Daemon. I will be honest. That's kind of weighing this episode down a lot for me. However, what they're doing with everybody else, I like a lot. So I would say I'm kind of in the middle. I'd say maybe like a somewhere in the 5, but not a 6.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be annoying and keep with my like super exact numbers. Maybe like a 5.8. Like a 5.8. Only because I really hate what they did with Daemon so much, but I do really love what they did with everybody else. But it's the Daemon stuff is so egregious to me that it's like
I mean, that's kind of what it is for me too.
Yeah.
Like
Hard.
his scenes just ruined the whole thing.
Mm.
Yeah, like everybody else is so solid. It's just him. It's like, what are we doing here?
Okay. So
Alisha?
MJ, don't
Your
fight
turn.
me. Don't fight me. Do not come to Minneapolis. Just try and fight me.
Karen, am I gonna fight you?
7.8.
Okay,
I
that
liked
was
it.
more than I expected.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Oh no, please go.
It
I'd
was
love
rich.
to hear it.
I'm an exposition girly. I love me some exposition. Even when I was younger, I wanted to know every little detail about everything, which is why I fell in love with Game of Thrones the way that I did, and A Song of Ice and Fire the way that I did. This episode really delivered exposition to me. It was not the most exciting episode. There was zero action in it. Yeah, to other people, there were really boring scenes. I will take points away because I may not like the direction that they're taking with Daemon. That doesn't mean all of it is bad writing. There's some bad writing in there, but it's one of those things just because I hate it doesn't mean it's bad. You know, I really liked the episode. There was a lot to like in it for me.
So I agree with liking exposition. I love exposition, right? We need that. Episode 2 was exposition and it was done excellently. This episode, when we get towards the second half of the episode, it's like, okay, they show Bela in the Vale. for 1 minute. Then they show Alinda leaving for 1 minute. Then they show whatever his name is going to the Riverlands for 1 minute, and then they show Alinda getting to King's Landing for 1 minute. And it's like just cut. Like, this is where this person is. This is where this person is. This is what this person's doing. But the Daemon stuff has me so irritated. I could take exposition all day.
See, Noah, Alisha, I see what you mean with the exposition because I'm a big lore person. I love some lore. I like history and real world. So like when we're in a fantasy setting and they're deepening that. So like the name drop of Aenys, Visenya, like those little name drops, Silverwing, Vermithor, like I liked that aspect of the episode. So I will say in that regards, but I did like that they're also setting up a lot of what's to come. Like we get mention of like Jason Lannister and the movements that are going on in the West. The mention of the blockade. Like there's like other things kind of being set up in this episode I did enjoy. I did want to say a quick thank you to Julian Kane for the super chat. Oh, oops, sorry, I went too fast. I need a drink after that Harrenhal scene. I think we all can agree to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to do things a little bit differently this episode. Rather than going in order, if we want to go maybe storyline by storyline, so like take all the King's Landing people together, all of like the little bit of Corlys that we get, all Rhaenyra stuff, all of Daemon stuff. I feel like that might be just a little neater for today.
Yeah.
Cool.
What does the chat want? What do you guys want?
Yeah, that way we can make sure we kind of get to everything. And just in case we have super chats, that way you guys can ask questions that are kind of related to like the topic that we're talking about. So like, for example, if like say we're on Daemon and Harrenhal, which we'll probably spend a lot of time on, if you guys want to ask questions about those, like about stuff kind of happening there, make it a little bit easier for everybody.
We can let them decide.
Yeah, so let's see.
See what they like.
Waiting for some opinions on how we should take it in the chat, unless somebody sees something before me. No. So yeah,
speak now or forever hold your peace.
They held their peace, but the movie buff didn't. Thank you for the other super chat. Alicent is now facing what Rhaenyra is dealing with due to the sexism of the Council of Men. Yeah.
You reap what you sow.
Mm-hmm. No, that I mean, hey, that's why Aemond is on the throne. They can't put Rhaenyra there.
They can't put her there either. That's what she wanted.
Yeah.
She wasn't wrong when. Okay, so I guess I felt bad for Alicent. The one thing that she did this episode that I was like, girl, shut up and take several seats, is when she said, somehow Aemond has become blah, blah, blah. Are you not the person that raised him? Like, it is so silly to me when parents sit back and they're like, I have no idea how my child turned out this way. That grinds my gears. However, I do think that she's not a bad ruler. She hasn't, while there isn't like surmounting evidence to show she's been great, it hasn't shown her misstep either. So I don't think she would be that bad of a ruler. Like we keep talking on and on about we can't stand Otto, but a lot of this would not transpire under Otto. She didn't learn nothing under him. In some ways, yes, you reap what you sow. And in other ways, the way they're acting toward her is so uncalled for.
I have a question, actually, since you brought up Otto. So this is episode 5. We know we only have 8 episodes for this season. 3 left then. When is Otto coming back? Because if our speculation of them potentially, things getting a little reordered and they take King's Landing by the end of the season, Otto kind of has to make his way back to King's Landing sometime, like ASAP.
I think it'll be by like either I think it'll be this season. I think it'll either be like the second to last episode or the final episode of the season. But if I watch the previews for next week, looks like there's going to be a little bit of unrest in King's Landing. It's either going to be after that or after Aemond decides to, if they go the route that Aemond is going to trash the Riverlands, which they seem to be right on
Hinting at.
track with that. Yes. I
Oh,
think it'll be
after
when
what
he
we
starts.
seen. Oh, go ahead.
I think it'll be after that.
After what we seen
Yeah.
tonight, no wonder he never wants to leave Harrenhal. No wonder.
Yeah.
He's going to be having dreams that he's having sex with his mom.
Oh my God, Aemond's gonna get exactly what he wanted.
Mhm.
Well, now two of them have Freudian issues.
Actually,
I just, you know what really makes me so mad? Like, there was so much cool exposition and filler that could have been done in the North. Like, we got to see Craig Stark for a second, but then we're doing all of this stuff in the Riverlands, and I don't know. Never mind.
I'm gonna let them cook for a while. Like, I want to
Yeah,
see
no,
how
no,
the
no.
whole
Don't
season.
don't
I'm
get me
sorry,
wrong. Don't
what
get me
am I-
wrong. I
what
think
is
the
this?
season is doing great. Like, I think overall they are doing a great job. One bad episode doesn't ruin it for me. I'm just like, man, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? I feel like I'm not going to be the only one that feels like this about this episode. Especially if you're a Daemon fan. If you're a Daemon fan, there's no way you like this.
I'm a Daemon fan. I don't like what direction they're taking him in, but I don't think the whole
you
episode
didn't
is bad because,
you didn't give it a 10 either. You
No,
gave
I
it a
did
7.
not.
You gave it a 7.
Correct. Did I say 7 or 7.8? In my head. Listen, I've
7.8.
been having today has been like the worst day ever. I took a little mini road trip with one of my friends today, and I guess I thought I responded to something she said in my head. I didn't realize I hadn't said it out loud. So I started laughing about something, but she thought I was laughing about something really heinous. So she said something heinous, and like there was this pause, and I just went, yeah.
Yeah.
I said 7.8, right? Or did I say 7?
I don't even know.
I think
It
you
was,
said
like, somewhere in that
7.8. I
range.
think you said
Okay.
7.8.
Sidebar, I'm laughing at our nuncle here, Edric Storm. Nah, man, no Starks, please. More Allison and Kristen sex scenes, please. Yes, that's what we're all asking for.
No.
Actually, you know what? I
She's
mean,
never going to give him that cookie again after
all right.
No.
this
Oh,
episode.
can we talk about Laris is such a dastardly little punk.
So
He
do
played
we?
that so well.
He did
So,
play it
question:
well.
where do we want to go first? Do we want to go to Driftmark, where the episode opens? Do we want to go to the Riverlands? Do
I
we
want
want
to go to
King's
let's
Landing
go
or
to King's
Dragonstone?
let's go to
Let's go
King's
King's
Landing.
Landing, and then
right.
we can do proximity Driftmark, and then we can do proximity to that Dragonstone, and then we can hit up the Riverlands. How about that?
Yeah,
Because
like that.
something tells me MJ is going to go on a rant about Daemon, and I feel like that should be like the grand finale of this episode because you're going to
I
have me
feel
in
it.
tears.
No, I'm with that actually. We have another super chat from the movie buff. To me, I was a bit bored, mostly because Rainey's is gone, and I'm still distraught.
I cried a
Yes.
couple
Well, know
times
what?
this episode.
I did
You
too.
know
The Vale
what?
and Corlys scene had me
Ugh. When he
What
said
a
it's a
what
hall
a
of. Go ahead.
what a good segue for this monstrosity. Oh, this
Yeah.
made me so angry.
Okay,
This made me
so
also,
I have
wait, can I
thoughts.
just say something real quick? Can I just go on a ledge real quick?
I already know.
So, no, let me just say it.
Get them,
I had a
girl. Get them.
I had a very slightly controversial tweet a couple days ago. It's deleted now, where people were coming at me, talking all sorts of smack, saying, "Oh, why would they be upset? This is the same dragon that almost killed people at the dragon pit a couple months ago." Well, who was saying it was a bad omen? This doesn't look like a good sign. Oh, yeah, they did. So I don't know. Maybe sometimes I know what I'm talking about.
Okay, here's what I will say.
Rant over.
I did not.
This is the episode of rants. I'm glad we're off camera.
Here's what I will say about that tweet. I think it was a Kristen Cole decision. Like, I don't necessarily
Oh,
think it was
absolutely.
because Aemond immediately flew back on Vhagar because he's already there in King's Landing. This was a Kristen Cole thing. Like, I
These are
agreed
the
with
two
most of
dummies
your
that did
tweet.
this.
I just didn't agree that it was like the Hightowers that did it. I'll
Not
give
too
them
much on
some credit
Gwen.
here.
I don't know. I feel like Gawain and Kristen Cole kicked it, like teamed up and did this one together. You know that tweet? You know, two dumb B words telling each other
Exactly.
exactly.
No, because
That was them.
Gwen
Like,
kind of clocks
no,
it.
would it be a good idea? Let's parade Melees around and say,
So
like, Aegon did it. Look what Aegon did. Aegon beat Melees. Good job, Aegon.
I
Meanwhile,
think
they're
it was
parading Aegon in a box.
I think it was
Well, no one knows it's
Crispin's
Aegon.
I think it was Crispin's idea. I
Yeah.
think he saw that Otto, he was like, "Oh, Otto did a parade of the baby. I'm gonna do it too, but with the dragon head." Like, I don't think he thought it through. Like, I just think he was trying to emulate Otto,
Mhm.
and he didn't think it through. Like, he didn't think that the people would see a bad omen. He didn't think the people would say, "Oh, Rhaenyra's gonna answer this." And also, like, Rhaenys, before the whole made up dragon pit thing, because it's completely a show thing, they wanted to give her a scene where she looked powerful. But before that, Rhaenys was beloved by the small folk. They call her the queen who never was. Like,
Yeah.
the small folk
Yeah.
love her. She did a tour, Progress,
Mm.
with Jaehaerys on her dragon before she got married to Corlys. Like, she flew there to tell him, like, I'm gonna marry him.
Well,
So
something else
it's
to
sad.
Darren. I'm so sorry for
Oh, I did
interrupting.
want to bring this up from Jackie. Sorry, before we keep going. Gawain said this wasn't a real victory.
It
So,
wasn't.
yeah, this is definitely looking major crispy creamy here, like Crispin Cole.
He
Like,
Krispy Kremed in her
I
victory.
okay.
gave Gawain the nickname Gawain from Humbleton because he be humbling. Crispin. He
does.
always
He
stays there
does.
to like, actually,
Oh
you
my god,
idiot.
I wish we got a scene rather than Daemon. All right, all right. I
Nope,
wish we
nope.
got a scene of like Gawain's face when Crispin was just like, it'd be a great idea, guys. Like, let's parade this dragon head around. And I just want to imagine his face was just like, he's the hand of the
Yeah.
king now. So I can only say but so
I
much.
hate that this show is putting me in a position to defend anything that Otto does. Okay.
Same.
I hate Otto, but he might just be, I don't want to say on par with Tywin. He's not an S tier. I'd say he's A, but I feel
Yeah.
like he's like Mastermind Chanel
He's
and
he's
Krispy Kreme is like
definitely
Walmart.
yeah, he's definitely up there with like Kevin Lannister.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he's
Big
as
Kevin
ruthless as
energy. Big
Tywin.
second son Kevin.
Yeah.
Big Kevin energy.
Kevin.
But something I will say, I don't, yeah, I think there's small folk in the mix that are horrified because they loved Rhaenys. But I think most of them are also clocking the fact that, oh, there's a whole dragon head right there. Do you know who did that to that dragon? Another dragon. They now know that the dragons are going at it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
And
said
that
that because
doesn't bode well for them
no,
because
this
they
guy
know
right
that
here.
they are, yep,
No, what were you gonna say?
they
Sorry.
know that they're collateral.
I was gonna
I
say
mean,
the guy
the
next to
scene the scene opens up with them like sifting through rotten fruit and fighting each other over, I think those were like fresh bread or something. Like they're hungry. They see, yeah, dragons can die. They saw dragons as gods. They loved Rhaenys, but also, oh crap, they're going at it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the guy next to Ulf was just saying that he thought dragons were gods.
Yeah. And
And this is just a way of like showing that they're not.
it doesn't matter how much green Aemon and Aegon and Helaena, it doesn't matter how much green they put on, they are Targaryens. Their power comes from dragons. You parading a dragon head through the streets is just as detrimental to your house or your side as it is to Rhaenyra's side. You guys are the same house. You're the house of the dragon. Like, you're literally carrying your sigil through the street dead. Dumb.
Wait, I'm sorry. This was funny from John Haymaker. It's hammer time. Honestly,
Dum, 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 dum.
I'm sorry, I meant to say Hugh the Hammer. Thank you for correcting me. Yo, I have been feeling what they've been doing with Hugh.
Yeah, I like the dude. They're making me like so
I
many.
like that it makes sense though, because obviously we know the unreliable narrator of it all for like Fire and Blood. So I like the fact that we're getting a more humanized look at Hugh.
Not just
and, like,
Hugh
his
smash,
story.
Hugh bash.
Yeah, and it makes things like I love that like his wife mentioned like, "Oh, you know, my family in Tumbleton," like
Yeah, that was a big Leo DiCaprio pointing at the TV moment.
I was
Tumbleton!
like, "Tumbleton!" Like, I, like,
We're
jumped
going to
at that.
Tumbleton!
We're going to Tumbleton! But, yeah, no, I can't wait for that. But I feel
Steve
like
Holt!
I
Sorry.
feel like, in this scene in particular, I didn't get the close-up of her face, but his daughter, like, she's definitely about to die if she's not already dead at the
Yeah.
end of this episode.
She's
Like, she's
She was
gone.
blue.
She's gray.
She was gray, literally. She was like, yeah, no.
That's
So I feel
gonna,
like
yeah.
that I think the wife's probably gonna end up leaving. He's probably gonna be like down on his luck. And then he's gonna see a little, obviously it's not gonna go this way, see a little poster that says dragon seeds wanted, apply here. And then he's gonna go apply, and then he's gonna go get a dragon.
Take my number down on this tab.
But yeah, that's
I think
yeah.
honestly something's gonna happen to the wife too.
I can see that, like in the riot.
Yeah.
So keep going, sorry.
Leading up to the riot, I do want to oh my god. I want to talk about the small council meeting, but I also want to talk about right after they progress Melee's head into King's Landing, you see Alicent and what's his face?
Oh, Aemond.
Aemond. Yeah, I almost called him F Face McGee. Then I remembered we're trying to watch our language. But they're up on the parapet. And it was very reminiscent of episode 2 when Rhaenyra's council was like, who would do such a horrible thing? And Rhaenys like looking at Daemon.
And it's funny because
clocked it immediately.
And I think of remember the pig incident when they put the wings on the pig?
Yeah.
And Viserys clocked that it was Aegon's doing. He's like, this is Aegon. Like, I know my son. I feel like this was her moment to be like, this was Aemond, because I actually know this son. Well, I thought I knew this son. Now she knows him. She knows him. She just doesn't want to accept it because that's also kind of scary to like,
Well,
you know, like when you think about your one son, like almost murdering his brother is a little bit much.
Yeah, there's that. I think there's that part of her that still like wants to deny, absolutely. But there are way too many scenes she spends like just looking at him. And honestly, like last season had me being like, oh my God, am I actually gonna like Aemond? But these past couple episodes, I'm like, there's the Aemond I know and hate. Oh my goodness. And here's the thing, like Aemond has been very sympathetic to me. He could have just did what he did, not saying I condone fratricide. You know, he could have did what he did and carried on. It's the way, like a freaking serial killer, he comes into that room, stands over his bed, and just admires his handiwork. That was a bit much for me.
Do you know people actually say that he did not do that on purpose?
No, he definitely did that on purpose because he was going to go back to go finish the job.
They said he was sheathing his sword already.
Okay, then how would they explain his decision to hang back with Vhagar when he saw Sunfire fly overhead?
Bro, he did it on purpose.
Even Helaena clocked it. Helena's. Yeah, we're going to get to that in a second. I just want to, before we get to that part, I want to get into this comment from Dragonfire. Aemond has a cat's paw dagger. How are we feeling about him finding out about the prophecy? Because it's feeling real like I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like between that and going to Harrenhal, like something's about to pop off. Like that combo is gonna be really bad.
oh, what if it's Alice that tells him? Because I do think he's gonna figure it out. What if Alice kind of drops this little hint? And
Oh, like you've been
Aemond
holding
is smart
the whole
enough that he can
time.
pick up on.
Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah. Yeah.
And you gotta
yeah.
think the sword was probably hot. He already probably knows the sword was probably already hot. He pulled the sword kind of out of fire.
It was kind of sitting in the grass.
Because
'Cause
when he
yeah.
holds it, when he points it at him, it's like black. It's like singed.
Mm.
I feel like they would have made it a point to show him looking at it if he did see it already. And if they didn't make it a point to do that, I feel like that was kind of goofy not to.
I have a question.
Yes.
Was Helaena wearing black when they passed her in the stairwell? Because I realized like the lighting is really dark, but
And I don't have an
she
image of
looked
that.
like she was wearing black. I don't know why she would necessarily, because spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He doesn't die until after the dance.
Yeah.
I'm going back
Oh,
right
well,
now.
if they're still in mourning for Jaehaerys, I don't know how long they're mourning
But
for
she already
Rhaenys.
switched to green again.
Or if she's mourning for Rhaenys. Did you think of that?
Mm,
Mm,
bloody business.
yeah. I do want to say a couple thank yous to some super chats that we got from My Life is Over 02. Well, I hope not. Um, thank you for the super chat. If you had a question, please send it over to our mods. And thank you, Brian Holiday. How did Allison not know that those men were going to turn on her? Also, I'm surprised Kristen keep his mouth shut about Aemon. He usually can't keep a secret. Actually, yeah. Do you guys want to get into this council meeting a bit?
Yes, it is time. Well, first I do want to talk about because remember, Alicent goes to him immediately after visiting with Aegon. And she
Oh
asks
yeah.
him what happened. And he's the worst liar ever, and he's like, I don't know. Cleaning my sword.
Oh wait, thank you for
She
reminding me.
she figures it out. Allison figures it out when she has that moment at the meeting where everyone chooses Aemon over her. She puts 2 and 2 together. She knows something happened.
I think she put 2 and 2 together before that, because she
Well,
asked him what was Aemon's part. And
well,
Kristen's like,
I think she was
Ooh.
suspicious, but I think after that, like when we had that moment of her sitting there shaking her head and like zoning out, I think there's 3 things going on at once. One, she's probably thinking, Rhaenys was right. She told me I'm still in service to men. I have done nothing but make a window in my prison. And
mm-hmm.
the second thing is, wow, none of these people, even the ones I think are loyal to me, are loyal to me. And then the third thing is, wow, Aemond was so prepared for this, like he already knew what was going to happen.
That smirk on his face, the pursed lip, it's gonna be a meme. It's gonna be a meme when she's arguing with them like he's too young, and they're like, oh, but he's the true heir, yada yada. This smirk on his face just takes me out.
Yeah. My Life is Over says, I hope when Aemon gets to Harrenhal, he sees Luke. Thank you for the super chat. And if they
Oh yes.
don't do that, I'll be pissed.
I think he is. He's definitely gonna see
He's
Luke.
definitely gonna bang his mom. Can we get
Oh, we also had
somebody?
hold on, we had one other super chat real quick. Thank you, Julian Kane. Well, Helena's son is dead. Is that
Yes,
in
but
reference to
she
the wearing
already went
black?
back to wearing green.
Ah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because I had mentioned that as well. But
yeah.
you were about to say
Oh, hold on. My neighbors like to be assholes and yell in the entryway.
okay,
I
so
think they're
while
fun.
you're
I would like for somebody, particularly Edric Storm, because he's very good at it. Can somebody take Daemon and Aemon's head and put them on Justin Timberlake and add Andy Samberg, the Mother Lover song? If we could just get that going, that'd be great. I don't know how to
Yeah.
make memes.
Can I
I
just
don't.
say, Damon and Aemond, what I find so interesting, and to kind of go back to what Gray was talking about when Alicent's like zoning out and stuff like that in the small council meeting after essentially her power is gone. She's lost her power. She's now realizing she's now in the same situation as Aegon at her son after she's told to, sit back and don't do anything. She's kind of getting backseated. I think she'll still have a seat on the council because they are acknowledging she does have experience. So I think she'll still maintain at least that, maybe for a time being. I wouldn't be surprised if Aemond kicks her out next episode either. But I say all that to say this. She's probably also realizing, you know what? Maybe my dad was wrong. And maybe we should have just, I think her and Otto both had a maybe we should have listened to Viserys moment.
Mm.
For sure.
A
I
little
also
bit.
think she was fighting off a panic attack.
That too. Also, the parallels with Daemon and Aemond I find to be wicked funny because
They're cheap.
Otto, everything Otto said Daemon would be is what Aemond actually is.
Can we talk about this
Correct.
for a second? Can we talk about it for a second?
Oh,
Because
girl, go off.
I feel like the parallels between Daemon and Aemond, like I've always called Aemond like the Sheehan version or the Wish version of Daemon, because they are supposed to be cheap on purpose. Because Aemond is emulating. Aemond doesn't really know Daemon. He doesn't have a relationship with Daemon. So he's emulating what he's heard of Daemon. So he's heard,
Mm,
he doesn't know him though. So he's emulating what Otto has said, what Alicent has said, what Viserys has said, what different people have said, different stories that he's heard. But he doesn't know him because Daemon would never betray Viserys like that,
no.
ever.
Never. He
And
would
if
never.
and if he knew Daemon, like if like to me, Daemon's probably one of his heroes but at the same time, he doesn't like him because he's always been cold towards Alicent's children.
Yeah.
So he tries to emulate him, but it's supposed to be like Alice says it in this episode. When Daemon's like, Aemon One Eye, if he's comes to rule, the realm will suffer, and as soon as he sees you, he'll cut you down or something like that. And she was like, well, I heard the same about you. So it's like he's just acting out on things that he's heard. He doesn't know him, and yeah, I feel like a part of what's going on in Harrenhal is to make him parallel more with Aemon than what he does. And I'm like, it's not necessary, but we're not there yet.
Oh,
No, we're not.
honey, we are
If we
not
can
there
go
yet.
back to the small council meeting,
Yes.
fantastic acting in this scene from not Emma Cook. Jesus. You know who I
Olivia
mean.
Cook.
Olivia Cook. Thank you. Fantastic acting from her. If you listen to her while she's like breathing really heavy, because it kind of muffles what other people are saying, when Aemon suggests that they bar the gates and not let anybody out, she looks at him like that is the stupidest idea she has ever heard. She's just powerless in that moment. Like the
Yeah.
one good thing I think that she's absolutely horrified. She knows she can't do anything. So he's like, don't let anybody out. And lo and behold, it's a really bad call. You see it already.
Yeah.
The one good thing he says is when he stands up and he says, cut the, for the love of God, somebody cut the rat catchers down.
Oh, I found that to be super funny.
Other than that,
minus the whole, keep the doors shut part, all his other suggestions were actually really reasonable. Because he was talking about essentially like same
Yeah.
game plan. Everybody knows like the key to winning a war in Westeros really is the Riverlands. Like you need to hold the Riverlands or have a good grip on them because everybody has to essentially go through them. So for him to kind of have the
I
same game
think
plan, and he's like, all right, Thailand, I don't know why you haven't done this before, but can you call your brother to, kind of get a move on. Like, things like that. And I really think he definitely messed up by not having at least some type of plan for the sea smoke's blockade. Like, why did nobody think, I don't know, would it be a good idea? Like, how about we get some food from the Reach, which we have connections to? Like, why
The
did nobody
Reach,
think of that?
the Reach don't fuck with them. Oh, the Reach doesn't like them.
No, I mean, like, at least the pockets that they hold. The pockets of the Reach that they hold. Because obviously they're from the Reach. So, like, they hold a couple pockets down there. So, like, I'm pretty sure Old Town has some fucking food. Sorry.
I know
Some
they won't.
food
I know they
lying
won't.
around.
They
They
won't
can
claim.
spare.
They won't claim for Aegon.
Oh, like the bulk of it. But I'm saying, like, the lands that they do hold. I'm saying, like, they don't have extra that they could just throw a little bit towards King's Landing, like in Old Town.
Well,
Like,
I
not
mean,
anything lying around.
the Maester does advise them to do that, so I don't know what they're gonna do. But it's
Yeah.
kind of like, do the small folk take it out on the Greens, or do they take it out on Rhaenyra? Because Rhaenyra is the one that's blocking the gullet.
From the preview for next week, it looks like there's about to be a riot that breaks out. So I would assume they're gonna take it out on them because they're the ones locking them in, not Rhaenyra.
Oh, true.
Like, yeah, she's like, it's her blockade, but at the same time, it's like, well, there wouldn't be a blockade if you guys didn't take her throne.
Yeah, true that. True that.
Would have been my thought. Before we move on from King's Landing, I did want to get into the scene a little bit with Aemond and Helaena.
Yeah.
And then after that, we do have some super chats I wanted to get to right after, but they're kind of more related to Harrenhal. But I want to go over this first. So when she says to him, "What did it cost?"
Was the
Do you?
price worth it?
Oh, was it worth the price? So she also clocked it. Did you think she had a vision, or she just kind of just sussed it out?
I think both.
Hmm.
Could be both. She knows. She knows. I'll stop. She knows her brothers. She sees everything else. Like the Cargyle twins aren't anything to her, really. Not vastly. That wasn't eloquent. I apologize. But she still dreamed of them. She dreams of the barn owl over in Harrenhal. She dreams of all sorts of things that don't necessarily pertain to her. She dreamed about the beast beneath the boards. I think she did see the Jaehaerys thing coming. It's not beyond the realm of possibilities that she saw her brother's betrayal. And it could be too, she just clocked his mannerisms.
So when they're bringing Aegon up the steps, if you guys go back to episode 2, there's excuse me, there's a scene with Helaena and Aegon where they're like, he's coming down the steps, she's walking up the steps. And right when they have him on that landing that they had met on, where she stared at him, he stared at her, but then they like went their separate ways. That's when they pan to her. So I feel like something about that interaction, she likely saw what was going to happen, what was coming next.
Oh, I like that idea.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
You know,
My poor little baby. I need more Helena. I just want to throw that out there. If we can just get a little splash more, just a little sprinkle more of Helena. I like dreamers, which will lead me to this super chat. Does anyone think Alice Rivers is a green seer?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean,
short answer, yes.
She kind of has to be at this point. She knows what he's dreaming, which means she's in his dreams with him. Kind of. Like she tells him, "Pity you didn't know your mother."
It's funny you say
And
that.
I was
That
like,
leads me to this next super chat. So, wait. Thanks, Pam of House Slaughter. So, wait, that was Alyssa and not Aemma that Daemon was with in his dream?
yes.
correct.
Unfortunately, yes. I will say for me as a book reader, I know I'm just being nitpicky here since obviously they don't have the purple eyes in the show. I would have liked a mismatched eye. You could have just thrown in one blue contact on that actress. She's not on long enough, like on screen long enough that she could have had mismatched eyes like Alyssa does in the books. Even if they're not the exact same color, just at least one eye color being different, I feel like would have just been a nice little kiss to book readers if you're going to do all that anyways.
Yeah.
But
Can we
I
talk
feel
about
you.
how he absolutely devoured the entryway in which he greeted this world? I don't like it.
oh God, Alisha, I don't want to think about
Anyway,
that.
I think, you know what? We should go to the Vale. We somehow left the Vale out of our
We
little
should go to the Vale. We should go take a nice little jaunt over to the Vale. I'm with
nice
that.
little refreshing jaunt.
They should have left it out of the episode too.
I disagree, actually.
You
I
are
highly
going
disagree.
scorched earth about what they're doing to Daemon.
Yeah, I
No, but
highly
I
disagree.
feel like oh, you
Yeah.
guys know how I feel behind the scenes about this Rhaena possibility.
Oh, I know what you mean. I just agreed with Fred Hampton is my hero. Also, great choice of a hero. The Vale was pretty. I highly agree. Can I just say, some of these locations for things we've already seen are so much better in the show. Like the Eyrie, the Twins, Harrenhal. Like so far, they've all aesthetically, in my opinion, have looked better
I
in this show.
thought the Eyrie in Game of Thrones looked better. Like
You did.
I did.
Hmm.
You know what's
Especially
not pretty?
what?
But
Jane's freaking attitude this season or this episode. Jane
That's
Eyre.
right.
I mean,
Because
she
I'm
kind of
sorry that you have to, in your very rich household, feed like 3 more mouths and you didn't get the dragons you thought that you wanted, but okay, like
Dragon
you wouldn't have
still
gotten dragons either. Like
Yo, I love
what do
Dragon
you
her
want?
mindset.
still wet from the egg. Girl, did you think you were getting Vermithor? Like what?
Right? Yo, I'm not gonna lie, Rhaena gagged me when she was like, you didn't specify which size, and you got
Right.
2. And they're gonna grow. So like
I didn't like the
chill.
way that it was probably not even her doing anything like wrong as much as it just reminds me of people that triggered me in my life. It was the way she was like, "You're at my mercy. I'm giving you room and board and this and that. Anyway, these are gonna be your quarters." You know, like let me just absolutely remind you that I have power over you. Do you like the throw pillows? Like I
Yeah.
don't like her so far.
No, I'm with that. Also, which I don't understand. Like, yeah, she's your guest, but this is also a princess at the end of the day that you're speaking to, ma'am. So maybe watch your tone.
And she's just lost her grandmother.
That too. And then the way she said it too, like, oh, sorry about your grandmother. And it looked like that was Raina's first time hearing the news, or was that just me? Like the way she played it? Like,
At first
or it
I
was just
thought
the
that, but
reminder
I feel like
stung.
yeah, I think it was the reminder and I think it was also like she hates the position she's in.
Yeah.
She didn't want to go. Like it would be really overwhelming if you get to the destination you didn't even want to go to and your host is immediately holding you accountable for things that are beyond your control. Oh, by the way, you're at my mercy. She feels like she's always been at somebody else's mercy. Like think about her time in Pentos. Her number one question was, am I going to be sent away because I'm not a dragon rider like you guys? And once again, her inefficiency as a dragon rider is thrown in her face in the
Yeah.
capacity of, oh, well, why should I let you stay? You're no dragon rider. You have no dragons to present to me. She's hurt.
I really hate when people that don't have dragons throw that in Raina's face. Like, ma'am, if you don't get on.
And
But
she
no,
and
I
it's
agree.
Rhaena's ancestor has a dragon about the same size as Tyraxes. And she conquers a city with it and
Yeah.
steals a whole army with it. So miss me with that.
Yeah. Oh, there's this comment from Michael David. I just want to ask you guys real quick.
Edric Storm. I'm so done
Is
with
it
him.
possible that Hugh's sick daughter is named Nettles?
I
If
won't
they
lie. I
if
want
they put a
nettles.
dragon, yeah, I want nettles, but if they put her next to a dragon and all of a sudden she started feeling better, I don't know, man.
Ooh.
I don't know
I
if
think
because
she's
that
not
happened with
long for this world.
oh, which one was it? Oh no, I personally think this baby's gonna die, and I don't think that's Nettles. But was it Amy's? Who they also mentioned in this episode? I think when he was a baby, he was like really sickly, and then they like the egg came around, and then he just like felt better, and he was like fine
And
after that.
um
I, is
when
that Amy's or somebody
Jaehaerys
else?
when Jaehaerys his first daughter Daenerys got sick, like one morning he woke up and was like screaming for everybody to go to the dragon pit to get her egg. But
Yeah,
it was too late.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
So it's
original Daenerys. You
something
still
about the
live in our hearts.
yes.
fire burns it all away.
I think also
Oh my
too.
gosh!
Well, she had the
Speaking of fire,
shivers, so I think like they knew that they'd be incubating that egg in heat. No, because they would have put her in heat regardless. Yeah, you right. You right.
sidebar. Speaking of fire, we didn't even talk about him, but just brief thoughts on Aegon looking like Anakin after losing to Obi-Wan on Mustafar. I liked that they showed the armor peeling off because it's kind of like reminded me of the quote in the book.
It gave me Jorah grayscale
It
vibes.
gave me
Yeah, someone said that in
still
the
raw
chat earlier
chicken
too.
on the grill vibes. Like they flip it, even though it's still raw on that side.
I wish the
We do.
dragons looked like that right now.
We do have a
Yeah.
super chat from Trevor Jones. They say, I'm surprised Jane isn't more loyal. Aren't she and Rhaenyra cousins? Don't they
Yep.
share a grandfather? Even if they don't, Rey is still an Aaron, and her victory is Aaron, and her victory is Aaron blood on the throne.
Yep. And
That
in the books, her coat of arms, it's quartered with the Aaron Falcon. It's
that
the
all
dragon, the falcon, and the Velaryon sigil, if I'm not
and
mistaken.
and all of that, plus she's a woman, so she has to kind of support the woman's claim, because at any time a man could come take the veil from her
Yeah.
and say she's not fit to rule.
Well, that's how they, chalk it up in the books. Like if Rhaenyra is deposed, her own succession could be called into question.
Yeah.
So they definitely bring that up as a
Before we go over to Driftmark, I just want to touch on a couple super chats. So we have one from the movie buff. Thank you again. Do you guys believe there's some glass candle communication going on with Helaena ever since she was a child?
Like Quaithe.
Ooh,
Like Quaithe giving her riddles.
I like it.
They never really see or show her staring into question. What about the bugs? It could just be a interest, the flavor of neurospicy she got. She can tell you everything about bugs, but it never really shows her hyper fixating on a flame at any point.
I just think she has dragon dreams. I think she's a dragon dreamer like Viserys.
Agreed.
Do you remember in season 1 when young Alicent and Viserys are having that discussion about Aegon's dream at that big dragon fire, and Viserys just slaps the shit out of her pregnant belly? Foreshadow.
No.
Oh,
That's the one. That's the one where he says he had a dream that he would have a son born with a conqueror's crown. He tells it to Aemond. Aemond's like, "Oh my god, that sounds awful."
Right,
But
giving birth to that.
Right, but he does have a son wearing the conqueror's crown. It's just with Alicent.
Yep. And speaking of crowns, we have another super chat from EJOVU. Thank you. What does King Daemon want?
Honey, I don't know.
Please,
his mom.
I've lost
his
the
mom.
plot.
Apparently, we've lost the plot, but we'll be deep diving into it momentarily. We have a lot of thoughts on this.
You know whose armor doesn't look 3D printed, and who the welders actually did very decent by?
Daemon
Daemon Targaryen.
Yeah. The Sea Snake's armor looks really good too.
Yeah. Everybody is done right except for Caillou. I mean, Aegon.
Aegon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, they probably didn't invest in it because they knew, I mean, he's not gonna like last long.
I thought Valyrian steel. Never mind.
But I know I did want to bring up the super chat from Julian Kane. Where is Jessamine Redfort when you need her? She might still appear. I don't know
She's
if we get.
places.
Yeah, if we maybe like she was a background character that was unnamed. We just don't know yet.
If we're not getting Nettles, we are not getting Jessamine Redfort.
If we
It's
don't
funny
get Nettles,
Say Nettles.
Mm.
We have a
Well,
super chat
Sheep
from John
Steal.
Harvey.
Listen, the Cannibal, Grey Ghost, and Sheep Stealer were not mentioned, so I am not pleased at the moment.
Yes, but for now, thank you, Jonathan Harvey, for the super chat. Rumor has it Rhaena is going to replace Nettles in claiming Sheep Stealer.
I will
so yeah,
riot.
that will be the worst mistake this show could make.
Yeah, because then it's like, well, what about morning?
What about morning? What about Nettles? What
too.
about
What about the burnt men? Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, what about the burnt men? What about the reason why Hugh the Hammer and Ulf the White fall out with Rhaenyra? Why, like the whole thing where Rhaenyra doesn't want to give Nettles land and stuff because she's a girl.
Mm-hmm.
The whole affair.
Yeah.
It was his daughter.
Need it. All right. We have one more super chat, and then we're gonna that too. Oh no. Okay, oh god, we're gonna get to it. We'll get to it. The movie buff. Helaena reminds me of Tiora.
Tiora?
Oh, thank God. I thought I forgot lore.
No, I was gonna ask Tiora. I think I forgot lore.
It might not be Song of Ice and Fire lore. There's a movie. Oh no, there's a movie called Tiorama.
I don't believe the rumor either, Michael. I think we're supposed to believe that it's gonna go one way and then it's gonna go another way. Like we're supposed to believe that possibly Rhaena is gonna get Sheep Stealer or a dragon, but I think Nettles is gonna come in season 3 and it's gonna be like a big surprise. She may make it season 2, but I feel like it's gonna be a big shock and awe moment. Because I feel like she does come a little later than the other two. Like we know Adam, Ulf, and Hugh come first, and they're not gonna make all the dragon seeds men.
Thank you, Sonder Days. I actually had to go to a Wiki of Ice and Fire because I'm like Tiora. Ariane's homegirl.
The dragon.
Oh, the Ouroboros dragon sigil when she goes to yeah.
Everywhere the dragons dance.
What was it called? Ghost Hill. What was the name of that castle? Ghost Hill. Ghost Hill. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
We are
Took us
so
a
sorry,
second, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. We got there.
We're rusty.
Also, thank you, Count Balerion of House Tatters for the super chat. Rhaena and Nettles different because Nettles is small folk. That too, because especially with the way they've been talking about the small folk this season and really like emphasizing their part to play, it'd just be such a disservice to combine them together. Let's get into Corlys.
I cried for him throughout the episode. That poor man.
Bro, this being the opening scene is just him sitting on the driftwood throne alone.
Well, everyone's dead.
I know. That's why it's so sad.
All my friends are dead. Pull me from the
Push me to the edge. Yo.
All my friends are dead.
Vale
It's not funny.
From the edge.
Okay, can we
we're doing
didn't show him respond like this when you done did that girl dirty by pulling that screenshot.
I told you I had to take a picture of the TV with my phone, and some of them were gonna be janky, and this was one of the janky ones.
So ghetto.
Sorry. What happens? We go live right after the episode.
No, but
HBO hasn't still given you screeners yet. If you guys want to do that, thanks.
They're watching us. Pulling
you can't screenshot. You can't screenshot anything from the screeners anyway. You can't use it.
No, I know, but I would know when to get ready for a moment. But anyways, besides the point.
So, okay, so
Yeah.
I'm not saying he doesn't care. I'm just saying the way that the show portrayed his response. They do not show him weeping for Lena. They don't show him weeping for Lenor. He's really despondent with
Well,
Rhaenys gone.
there was a lot of
It's his
time
homie.
jumps in between those
Oh no, I'm
episodes.
not saying he didn't mourn them. I'm saying the way that they are really trying to convey that this man is hurting. I believe he
Mm.
mourned them, but that's not how the show chose to portray how he's responding to it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
I
like
think
right now
I
he's
don't think the point is
completely
to
out of
show
it.
he didn't give a crap about his kids. I think the point is to show like he's messed up right now.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think it, but I don't think it's just the loss of Rhaenys. I think it's like the loss of both of his children and Rhaenys.
And his
And now
brother.
he's, and his brother, and now he's alone. I don't think he probably really cares about his brother, but now he's alone. And he says like his castle is haunted or something like that.
Yeah, because figure like he's the only one that lives there now. Bela has been living on Dragonstone with her father and them after she like moved in with Rhaenyra because she used to live there for a while. But I believe that was while he was still fighting in the Stepstones for a bit, anyways. If I'm not mistaken, I might be having my
Yeah, she
timeline.
was
The
mostly
timeline's got a little bit wonky last season. Could not gonna be.
she
No,
Yeah,
was
but
mostly with Rhaenys. But one
yeah,
thing I'm kind of realizing about his particular character art, we know that spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we know he accepts the handship. I
yeah.
love how they are shifting his motivations. The first half of what they've shown on the show so far, he does grasp for renown. He wants his legacy to be epic. And that absolutely motivates everything that he does. And I think he's realizing that did lead a lot of his family to early graves. When he chooses to accept the handship, it will no longer be for power or renown. It'll be because he feels like it's the right thing. And I love that shift.
I
I don't love
actually,
what's going on with him, but
yeah, I agree with you on that completely. One thing I do like, they keep bringing up the succession of Driftmark, and I love how after talking with Bela, because Bela essentially shown, she's blood of the dragon here, but she said, she's fire and blood. Driftmark needs to go to someone that's salt and sea, and the fact that they're standing on the docks, I'm assuming this is supposed to be Hull here, and how many times we've seen Alan. The last episode we got that thing with Rainey's. I think what we might see when he goes to accept the handship, I wouldn't be surprised if he brings Alan with him. Like if Alan comes over with him.
well, yeah,
Maybe not as
because in
his
the
legitimate
previews,
heir at that point. At
mhm,
least like he's like yeah, because we've seen in previews of Alan in the Valarion suit of armor.
mhm.
So like I can see that.
That was a really sad scene for me when he's like, "You should be my heir." And I know she meant that to be like, "You should raise up somebody else," because I'm sure she knows about. It's
Just like
like
forget
it's like the worst
Joffrey.
kept secret. Like Simba, everybody knows.
Yeah, but like Joffrey is like, who
But
cares about Joffrey? Joffrey's like pooping his like
nobody is trying to
pull-ups.
push Joffrey's claim, I noticed. No one. But I
Nobody's
mean,
mentioned
I think
Joffrey.
I don't know. I just feel so bad for him because he's so hollowed out and empty. And I think whatever he does going forward, he is trying to protect. He's trying to do right by the people around him that are left. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, she
Speaking of,
really said, "I don't want your,
oh
I
yeah,
don't
well,
want your, I don't want your castle."
yeah, especially like she's thinking, she's about to inherit the Iron Throne with her mans in them. So I think she has bigger fish to fry than Driftmark. Not only that, because it's like figure, all right, we'll say she doesn't get the Iron Throne. They still have Dragonstone. So like, and she's obviously intended to marry Jace. So it's like he's either getting the Iron Throne or Dragonstone, which are both kind of like a little bit nicer than Driftmark. So like I think she's all right. She's not lacking for things. But
No. If all goes right, she's going to be queen anyway.
exactly. And I like that she mentioned that she's doing it also for like Rhaenys too. And how important. I love that everybody talked about Rhaenys this episode, to be quite honest. Like everybody dropped the news at some point.
And they better keep talking about her.
Everybody except Daemon.
Yeah.
Because the fuck?
Oh, I think he was just tripping on shrooms. I don't even think he understood. I don't even know if he knows what's
No,
reality.
he didn't.
Not
He
anymore.
didn't know. There was so much going on. It was
Like,
unreal.
what is happening in like my
What?
life right now? What? But before we get to the Daemon of it all, I do want to get to Rhaenyra because I know we're gonna have fun when we get to the Riverlands. But Rhaenyra gets. I like how we transitioned actually from Corlys to Rhaenyra, like in the episode itself, of the both just kind of like just staring out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my heart broke for Rhaenyra here. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not that I was unsympathetic to her. I just, after watching Corlys crying and then it goes to Rhaenyra looking up at the sky, it just didn't look as, like, out of the two of them, I'm going to feel sorry for, Rhaenyra.
Oh, well, yeah.
Or out for Corlys.
Well, obviously, I'm like sad for Corlys because it's like his wife and stuff like that. And as Rhaenyra said, they didn't always get along. But I know for her, and like she kind of mentions it to Jace as well. Like she's the one who wanted to go to Rook's Rest, and Rhaenys is like no, and she's like, my family's dying for me, and I can't even like that restlessness, the guilt of it all. Like I don't know. I feel for Rhaenyra. It kind of stinks when it's like you got to send your loved ones out to, be in harm's way against your not so loved ones, but other familial relationships and your ex-girlfriend, and her raggedy kids. But it's just, it's tough for her out here. And then not only that, but her being a woman, like I kind of want to get into her like small council meeting a little bit. With oh my god, his name
Alfred.
Sir
Alfred.
He loves to accost her. She let him have it when she said we've lived in there's been nothing but peace in our lifetime. So whatever I don't know about combat, neither do you.
Oh, she ate that. She ate that.
Mother was mothering.
When she told him, when she was like, I need you to go to the Riverlands, and he was like, you're removing me from your council? And she was like, while you have tried my patience of late. And I was like, yes, mine too.
And mine.
Yes.
All of us. And like
go.
Lord Celtigar, I really like him. Like I really like Lord Celtigar. His facial expressions are everything. Because every time Alfred says something, Lord Celtigar is like, oh my god, it's the giving Beesbury, like the dear me. It's giving that. I love it.
Oh my gosh, with Trevor Jones, what that Pharasex comment was so out of pocket when he said that. If
The
you look at I looked at Celtigar's face too. He was just like, "Oh boy, what did you say?"
Yeah, he was that dude at the work meeting that just sits there like really awkwardly and just like. You ever had those work meetings where two people just start going like out of pocket back and forth with each other, and there's that part of you that's like, yes, and the other part is like, I don't actually want to be here for this, but I want to know how this plays out. It's just this very visceral bodily response, sometimes clenching of butt cheeks. Yeah.
Yeah, Sir Alfred Broom is going to betray China. Yes, ma'am. He's a traitor.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't like him. And after this meeting, she goes to meet with our homegirl, everybody's homegirl, Massaria. I like that she kind of went to go vent to her afterwards about how. Oh, you don't?
No, I was gonna say I don't like how she tried to bark at Alinda like that.
Oh,
ow! What, girl? If you don't call
like, Your Grace, are you hungry? Get out, Mom.
No, what she did? She did that thing where it's like you're mad at other people and now you're throwing it at the one person you can throw it at.
I know, but
The one
Alinda
person
did it.
that
And Alinda
spoilers
didn't
in
deserve
5,
that.
4,
But Alinda didn't
3,
deserve it.
2, 1. Alinda loved you. Alinda clawed out her eyes when you get
Yeah.
eaten alive by your brother's decrepit, crippled dragon. Like, girl, be nice.
Yeah, be nice.
Yeah.
Have a Snickers.
Snickers. But yeah, no,
Okay, here's what. Okay, sidetrack. The thing that
what
really
bothered
bothered
you?
me about Alinda going to King's Landing. First of all, that Massey sigil is on full display. Who are you fooling? Second off, like, you are clearly wearing an expensive
Cloak.
cloak in a setting where people are super hungry. People are going to clock you immediately.
Yeah. They should have gave her Damon's murder cloak.
They should have gave her Damon's murder
They're
cloak.
his-
I just want to say, hi, Anna.
Hey,
Thanks for joining us last week. If you guys didn't check that episode, check the replay. And also check out her YouTube channel.
She's
Read the
brilliant
yes.
and beautiful, brains
Yes.
and brawn and beauty.
Beauty and
Yes.
brawn.
Did I say?
What the hell?
She's probably really strong too. I don't know. I didn't mean brains and beauty and brawn. We'll
And
say I'll
badassery.
stop. And badassery. Moving along. Who did Alinda go visit? It was Diana.
Everybody's favorite fired housekeeper,
Mm.
Deanna.
I'm so glad they are utilizing her beyond just a face that got SA'd.
Can I just say this? I just want to get this. I know
You
I've said
called
it
You
before,
called
and I
it.
just want to say
Girl,
it again.
You called it. Say it again.
I'm just gonna say it again. I just want this on so many records so I can make a compilation of it later. When we get that Shepherd arc,
Spoilers.
when Diana
in
is
5.
front and center, I'm not saying much. Diana is gonna be front and center during that Shepherd arc. Boy, you wait. Just you wait. They're setting that arc up so much this season. It is not even funny. Like, I'm so nervous for that arc because I feel like I'm gonna start getting viscerally angry because I just don't like zealotry. Anybody that like zealotry cults, I'm not into like that at all. So I'm like, I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. But yeah,
They could take it one of two ways. It's most likely going in that direction that you mentioned. Like, she's going to be up front and center during that moment later on. 90% chance. I also think there's like a 10% chance she might want to join Rhaenyra in her household, which
ooh,
the only thing I don't like about that is her having to basically once again be at the mercy of a man who abused her. I don't like that full circle. So, but like 10%, because with spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God, that's so crazy that we have to do that.
I want to be fair to the people that haven't read the books. I want to be an equal opportunity
stream. Okay.
I don't listen.
All right.
But
5, 4,
anyway.
3, 2, 1. Spoilers.
Rhaenyra, I mean, all that's left to Rhaenyra is her son Aegon and her handmaidens. You know, so if Diana joins Rhaenyra, she'd be one of those handmaidens there. I don't like the idea of her being there because once again she has to go ahead.
Oh no, I just got viscerally sick imagining that because having to
Yeah.
look at Aemon,
Yeah.
having to look at Aegon's face after all of that, he's probably going, oh God, oh no, she doesn't deserve that.
Yeah.
She don't deserve that. That girl don't deserve that.
I don't
I'd rather
I
her
don't even
get
know why I came up
I'd
with
rather
it.
get
I don't like it.
I'd rather her get the Cersei treatment at the Dragon Pit than her have to see that boy again like that in that circumstance. But I did actually want to speak of Russ. I did want to get back to Mysaria and Rhaenyra just a smidgy here. All right. If they're going to do all of this, we need to get Nettles. If they're going to show Rhaenyra confiding in Mysaria, venting to Mysaria clearly influencing Rhaenyra here,
And asking her specifically, "Are you gonna go to Daemon?"
Yeah. Well, we better get Nettles.
Nettles
Don't do all
confirmed.
this and not give me Nettles. Don't
I
please
think we're
don't
gonna
do
get.
all
I
that.
think we're gonna get her, and I'm not gonna say we're not gonna get her until we don't get her.
Agreed.
It ain't over till it's over.
It ain't over till it's over, and I will rail. Make sure you're here for that stream.
Oh yeah, we're gonna. Oh my god, that's gonna be the day.
Speaking of
I
railing,
hope
we're
it's not.
almost to Harrenhal, where Daemon railed his mom.
We're almost there. We have a
Almost
couple
there.
more things we gotta get
Jay.
to, guys. Yeah, we also have a super chat waiting for Daemon. I saw your super chat, April. We'll get to that very, very shortly. Just a couple more things at Dragonstone, and we're hopping right over to the Riverlands. Rhaenyra and Bela, I just want to say again, one thing I really loved about this episode is that we're getting more Bela. We got a lot of Bela in this episode, which I appreciated.
Right.
Finally.
The
But I really
story,
like this season.
the story about Melees, about
Oh, it was
Rhaenys-
beautiful.
Did you
time in
also
Melees.
clock out Daemon tried to claim his mother's dragon, and then Daemon goes on to
Yep.
wah, wah. But we'll talk about it, MJ.
The Oedipus of it all.
Caraxes was always
Getting up in that
painful to me.
Oedipus.
I hate
We're
y'all.
so bad.
It's not funny.
It's
so
funny.
No, it's not.
It's kind of hilarious.
That shit was disgusting.
Actually, know what it's kind of funny though?
She's
is
not
the
my
fact,
mom.
wait, does Rhaenyra say that Daemon's the one that claimed like how long story. Daemon and Rhaenys essentially claimed their parents' dragons.
Yes.
Yeah.
She does say that. I feel like she said that in this episode.
Well,
Or
she
am I imagining
said
that?
I don't think she said it, but Bela says she would have nothing to do with my father. Melees.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I
Probably
was saying I
because-
thought it was funny because like Rhaenys' dad rode Caraxes and now Daemon does, and then his mom, rode Melees, and I just thought it was cute.
Can we also talk
That's all. I
about
just want to say it was
how
cute.
Balon's dragon killed his wife's dragon?
Yep.
I don't want to think about it.
Disloyal. But speaking of people that are loyal, I'm going to get into Jace and Rhaenyra real quick. Somebody brought up the sowing of the seeds, since we've been kind of talking about it with this whole Nettles thing. Next episode?
Yeah.
Are we thinking?
Yeah. You see the
We should
preview?
explain explaining sowing of the seeds for people that may not be here or kind of catch what pick up what Rhaenyra and Jace were putting down. There are people of Valyrian descent kind of floating around. Most of them are kind of like within the Crownlands, because that's where most of the Targaryens and Valyrian people live. So they essentially hold like an open tryouts for anybody to become a dragon rider to claim, as they mentioned, Silverwing and Vermithor. However, as Alisha mentioned, there are wild dragons on Dragonstone. I feel like they didn't mention the wild dragons specifically because they probably live kind of scattered throughout Dragonstone, where I think Silverwing and Vermithor both live within the Dragon Mount itself, like kind of in that cavern where the other dragons kind of chill. I think Vermithor and Silverwing are like down up in there.
Yo, what if they decide to surprise introduce us to Nettles? She stands before Jace and Rhaenyra, and she's like, I transferred from Los Angeles. Your school has no gymnastics team. This is last resort.
I would love that.
Come on. I don't want Silverwing or Vermax. How about a dragon that actually requires neurons? And they present Sheep Stealer, and it's going to be, God, they should hire me. Anyway.
Yep.
I'm so good at
Bring
this.
it on. Classic American cinema.
Cinema peaked. Bring it on.
Edric Storm. No, Tyrion is not a dragon seed. He is absolutely not a dragon seed. He is Tywin's son. He is Tywin's son. And that's the irony of it.
Yep.
It's
and
like
Rhaenyra's son is Jace.
Not Joanna, Gemma.
Ideas. Oh, actually, since we're talking about Jace, can we get into River Run for a second? We're moving to the Riverlands. We're in the Riverlands. After this, we're gonna hop over to the big boy. But
I was gonna say, I don't mind the phrase in this
It's not
century.
It's not Sabbath Frey though. Like
No,
That's
it's
what I
not.
was
But
wondering. Is this lady supposed to be Sabbath Frey? If so, why is her man talking?
I
right.
mean, she does most of the talking. He just sits and stuffs his face like a little.
No, he starts most of the talking. Because I had in my notes, I was like, why is this man speaking if this is Sabbatha? Like,
Sabbath
word for
is
word.
a lot younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Unless
I
they're
don't know
going to
what
kick the bucket and then Sabbatha takes over.
She was the one that was kissing the ladies.
Yeah.
Maybe it's their daughter or something. I don't know.
Smooching. Like it was smooching.
And then they
Smooching.
kissed.
Yeah.
And it was
But,
his mom.
So how do we feel about
Harrenhal.
How do we feel about Jace's negotiation skills? So his idea of why he wanted to go to the twins was because, well, Cregan Stark is sending his winter wolves down to me, and the easiest way for them to get here is to cross through the twins, which we know is a, thing that happens in Game of Thrones because Rob Stark has the same idea.
he
But
he negotiated better than Rob Stark.
well, Rob Stark didn't negotiate. Catelyn Stark negotiated, but we already know. Yeah, well, let's not get into that.
I don't
We're
think
going to be going in on
negotiation. It was, this is what I want. You can give it to me or, die when this army comes. She's like, okay.
Sidebar, I really liked how she's like, well, we're afraid of Vhagar. He's like, yeah, Vhagar's leagues away. My dragon's parked outside. So, like,
Yeah, my teenage dragon. And the dragon was like, because he's
leave Vermax
pubescent.
alone. Oh, great. I think you tweeted this, but Vermax should be so much bigger.
Well, they're saying that the Game of Thrones made Drogon way bigger than he actually.
It was out of control, his growth rate.
Like Game of Thrones made Drogon a lot bigger than he actually is.
And Vermax spends most of his time.
But Drogon's also like tied to magic and stuff, and then Drogon was
Yeah.
in
Are other dragons not?
Well, Rhaegal, I feel like Rhaegal and Viserion are still bigger.
They are.
And they were in captivity.
He should at least
they
be
still
the
were
size
smaller than Drogon. But
they were smaller than Drogon. Like when they break out of the little pit that they're in Marine. Remember when Dany comes back and she does this sit boy with amazing. But when she goes flying off, they, somehow bust out of containment, even though they couldn't do that before. They were much smaller than Drogon.
Well, they were in the dragon pit for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Which would be similar.
Yeah. So, I mean, like Vermax, I'm not expecting him to be super big. Because remember, I was complaining about the size of Syrax. And then y'all were reminding me about the Thunderdome and its effects on growth. So the same can be said of Vermax.
Michael David sent a super chat. He's asking what dragon is that in the trailer. I think it is Sea Smoke.
Oh,
it looked bronze.
I was thinking
the one that steps up. You mean the one that steps up that looks exactly like Dany's dragons?
Yeah,
the one that looks like Silverwing. When I was yelling on the phone with you, Alisha, when I was watching,
it could be Silverwing. It could be Silverwing, but I think Silverwing would be bigger.
I assumed Silverwing would be bigger. The only reason why I thought it was Silverwing is because they just name dropped Silverwing and the dragon looked silver-ish.
I feel like once Corlys hears about I feel like Adam may be like the first to claim a dragon.
Do we know that I mean, it was like a flash, so forgive me for not remembering. Do we know if that was in Dragonmont or was that possibly in the Dragon Pit?
That was Dragonmont.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because next episode we see that Helaena is about to be in deep distress with her mom. So if Dreamfire responds by
could that be
making an appearance, it looked just like Dreamfire.
Oh, sorry, that was just Jace.
I thought Dreamfire looked darker than that.
Yeah, I thought Dreamfire was a little darker.
Well, it shows Dreamfire basically just in the light of its own flame for a split second.
Yeah,
black
where she
people.
looks
Oh, yeah,
just
good
like
point.
Drogon, literally.
Yeah,
I
and then
think
they try to say that's not her
I think
mom.
it's Dreamfire. I think
I
it's Dreamfire because we
no,
haven't
I
really
agree with you.
we haven't like we've
Well, no,
seen
no.
above deck with the dragon pit, but we haven't. Okay, we have seen inside the dragon
Only
pit.
reason
But
why I
we
don't
haven't
think
seen
that's,
all of the dragon pit.
but it's definitely the Dragon Mont because it looks exactly like the same caverns that we saw Rhaenys and Melee's in. Like it's like the exact same setting.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, Alisha. But I did want to bring this up. It's a super chat, but it's related to what I want to talk about real quick. That's on the screen. I wish the phrase did eventually get Harrenhal because from Julian Kane, I never understood why Harrenhal families go bad. Now I get it. Mad. That's what I meant to say. I think it's time. I think we've covered most of our bases here. I think we're ready to go.
Release the gray area.
Release. I think we're ready to release the gray area of it all.
Play the Reigns of
Look,
Castamere.
I hope we don't
Alexa,
end up.
play the Reigns of Castamere.
So like,
We're gonna
Daemon
fight.
this-
I already know. We're gonna because I'm feeling antagonistic tonight.
But wait, we did hold on. Actually, before we get really, really deep into Harrenhal, I did want to bring up I loved his intimidation of the Brackens
No,
Did you?
on the dragon.
Oh,
I
what?
wish as much as I wish he would have like, I mean, at least just like a little small little poof to like just be like, I'm not a punk. Just like a little light fire on their cloaks. Like, don't kill them, but just like a little like I think would have just like drove the point a little bit better. But I understand his method.
So I didn't like it. We know that Daemon is supposed to be the Targaryen of Targaryens. And when we talk about like Daenerys, she's supposed to be better than them. Like she wants to be better than her ancestors. Daenerys would have roasted the Brackens just like she did the Tarleys. Like the Brackens have declared war. They've sided with Aegon. There was a whole battle that we didn't see, so it like doesn't really mean anything to us. It was just like the bodies of the burning mill, which I liked it. But he's well within his rights to flame them. And then, like the previous episode, Sir Willem's like, if you bring the Queen's justice to the Brackens, then you'll have our army. But he doesn't. He's like, I'll burn you. Just kidding. Just kidding.
the part that bothered me, say what you mean what you say. Like it I hate comparing the two, but in my line of work, obviously vastly different things. Like I'm a behavior interventionist at a middle school for people that don't know. It's very akin to being a dean, but it's a little more geared toward being proactive about behaviors, hopefully before they happen, not just retroactively being like, you did this thing, here's your consequence for it. The first thing I was ever taught by my supervisor, who is the absolute queen of what she does, say what you mean what you say. I don't say this in light of, oh, this is how you reign over people. This is how you have authority over them. That's how you get people to respect you. And respect
Yeah.
is everything. So it bothered me that he told them, and maybe he didn't tell them right here and now, I'm going to roast you, but he made that threat. They literally walked away from him. And you can tell, the Amos Bracken was nervous, but he still chose to walk away. And Daemon was like, well, that didn't go the way I wanted it to.
I also understand Daemon's restraint personally in this situation because, as people have brought up, this is a Blackwood and Brackens. Like it's only you can. Granted, yes, they have openly declared for Aegon. I get that, but at the same time, there is so much animosity between those two. You really got to hear things out a little bit sometimes with them.
I think he should just kill them because they're not going to be an asset to his army anyway. Because they're going to fight with each other. They're going to be the ones like in the back of the line fighting with each other. The Vanguard's going to be fighting and the Brackens and the Blackwoods are going to be fighting each other. I don't think they're that detrimental of a house for him to like not like listen, I'm not like, oh, he needs to burn people. But if you say you're gonna do something, you need to do it. And it's something that Daemon would have done. The Daemon that we know in the series would have definitely burned them. Um, he took their castle. Or spoilers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He took their castle. Like he, I just, it just feels so out of character. This is the guy that took a white surrender flag, waved it, and then started slaughtering people. But we're
Yeah.
supposed to believe that he's going to be like, oh, I'm not going to burn you today. You're the type of a man I need. What? And then to advise Willem, and then so Willem's asking for this thing, right? He doesn't get the thing, but Damon's like, steal their wives and kids. Try some persuasion. It's so weird.
It took me a bit of like retroactive processing to pick up what he was laying down because the
I didn't get
context.
it until the people
Okay,
came
good.
in and said it.
Okay. I mean, like when Willem Blackwood started walking away, I was like, oh, he wants them to like mess up the Brackens. Just don't pull his name into it. Okay. But during that whole conversation, I was not feeling intellectually adequate because I'm like, no, I don't know what you mean, Damon. It was just a whole lot of like, shoulder or elbow nudging, being like, yeah.
Well, maybe that means
yeah.
you're just a decent person because I wouldn't have picked that up off first rip. I'd been like, what? It wasn't literally until like they said what happened. I was like, oh, that's what you all. I was like, okay, I knew you were kind of suggesting you do something like backstabby, but I know like
It's
when he's like
literally
every man has a weakness. I was like, yeah. Okay, so what
I
are we
thought
gonna
I
exploit?
thought he was gonna be like, entice him with your body. I'm like, so they're gay. Got it. And then I'm like, no, that wasn't stupid.
Kidnap.
Alisha.
Oh, I was not thinking of kidnapping.
It's not that.
Damn.
Okay, it's not just me.
Yeah,
Good to know.
it's like
Ah,
Damon hasn't learned his lesson about trifling with children.
exactly.
nope.
EJOVU, classic plausible deniability. Daemon is our poster child for plausible deniability.
Yeah. Before we start getting into these visions, if you will.
The one where he bangs his mom. Yes, continue.
Oh god, before we like start getting into all that, we have 2 super chats from April that I wanted to bring up. Thank you. For Daemon part, anyone else notice Alice poofs behind Ormond? I know he looks at her, but was he confused at who Daemon was talking to?
I think he saw her. Simon?
Yeah.
I think she meant Simon.
No,
Yes.
Simon saw her because he very pointedly, when she starts walking away,
Looked
because
at
at
her.
first I was like, I wonder if only Daemon sees her. But then Simon kind of looked at her like, are you antagonizing people again?
Yeah, and you notice she usually whenever she can like visually look at him, she can alter his state of reality, which I've
Mm.
been noticing. So like when they were having that like the dinner and he starts just like kind of zoning out and seeing stuff, she's staring at him. Then again, when like I forgot who, like there's
He's
another
chopping the
scene.
wood. He's chopping the wood and he starts hearing the screams. She's staring
Yep.
at him.
And she's staring directly at him. Also,
I
we know
wonder
that
if
there's
he's hearing.
Harrenhal, werewood all up and through this castle. So if she is a green seer, then her power would be like insanely strong in this location, like insanely powerful. So yeah, not surprised.
I think she's haunting people because she said she heard, basically whispers in the wind of the small folk that are suffering. She's haunting him with his own actions, with his own deeds, with his own insecurities. I do not get the impression she likes Daemon at all. She is
Oh,
absolutely
not at
messing with him
all.
every opportunity she gets. I love that for her. I am becoming an Alice Rivers stan. Absolutely. But those screams that he heard, I'm rather certain it was a result of him encouraging the Blackwoods to go
Yeah, I
do
think he
their
was
thing.
hearing the
I
screams of the Bracken women and children that she talks
Mhm.
about, because she even says, like, it's the innocent people getting caught up in this that are really being hurt. And yeah, I don't think she's gonna like Daemon. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think she's gonna like Aemond at all either.
Mm.
Because shoot, we're talking about Daemon not burning things. Aemond is going to be burning the Riverlands.
So I don't think that she likes or dislikes anyone. I think she's kind of like a Blood Raven character where she's just like
Mm.
wants for the greater good. So like Blood Raven does some pretty bad things for the greater good. I think she's kind of that character. I definitely think that she's messing with Daemon. The writer for House of the Dragon, she basically said, Daemon's stay at Harrenhal is going to be akin to the Overlook Hotel from The Shining. So they basically took Jack's story from The Shining and like copy and pasted it onto Daemon by like Daemon's there, he's bitter because of his argument with Rhaenyra. Like Jack had like alcoholism problems and like the hotel completely drives him insane to the point he wants to kill his wife and children. I think
Rest in peace, Shelby.
Oh yes,
Dang,
how
messed up.
like timing, yeah.
what happened.
Shelley Duvall passed away a
She
few days ago.
died.
Oh,
That's what I just said. I just said passed away.
sorry. Rip. Um
Spoilers. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, she died, MJ.
so anyway,
For real
um
life.
so I feel like I don't feel like it is I feel like it's messy, right? Like at this point we have Daemon basically saying that he doesn't support Rhaenyra's claim. He's going to claim he's going to claim for himself Viserys's first true heir. Um and he feels like the realm will support him. Spoiler, I feel like it's clear as day to see that the realm won't support him, and it's gonna look like he's forced to side with Rhaenyra because he doesn't have the support. Whereas in actuality, he would never not support Rhaenyra. If he doesn't support Rhaenyra, he's going against his own children.
I
Personally,
interpreted
I feel like
what
oh,
I interpreted what he's doing as not so much supplanting her as much as he wants to be equal standing. He doesn't want to be a consort. And he's even saying like she's more than welcome to be queen beside me. I don't think he wants to completely like usurp her as much as like no, he never comes out and says, "Oh, we're equals." But he wants to be king. Sure, he'll share that crown, but he doesn't want to be like I'm repeating myself at this point. But
Yeah, but I
yeah,
think the show is taking it in that direction to make him parallel with Aemond doing what Aemon is doing with Aegon. You have to make Daemon do like they're making them parallel just to make them parallel when they don't need to parallel like that.
okay, random
us.
question because we are like we graze over everything else. There was a scene, and I couldn't quite clock the sigil. There was a scene of a bunch of men riding in the woods at night in the rain.
Sir Alfred going to
Okay.
Harrenhal.
Okay, got it. All right.
And I feel like they're sending him because he said all this gentler sex stuff. So they're sending him so as the audience you think that he's going to side with Daemon. Like oh, he must going to side with Daemon because he's said the gentler sex and he thinks like he shuts up when Corlys walks in the room, but he's always back talking Rhaenyra. I don't know. It's just going on too
Sus.
long. Like I get the whole thing. Like he's facing his demons. He's gonna overcome it. Aemond will not. Aemond will not. But it's like, okay, can we get back to the story? Can we get back to building an army
Yeah.
and supporting your queen, who you placed the crown on her head and bent your knee to?
Yeah. Question for you guys. Actually, speaking of well, I was gonna say sorry. Do you think he truly feels this way, or do you think it's Alice manipulating him to feel that way? And
I
once he
think
leaves Harrenhal, his mind is gonna be like, "Wait, what the heck?"
I
Like
think
that.
I think he doesn't feel like that. Like that there's a part of him that does though. Like that darkness
Like
that
deep
he
down,
keeps
yeah.
sheathed inside of him. Of course you're going to be pissed if you're supposed to inherit the throne and you're supplanted because your big boss villain of your life, Otto, basically told Viserys to do it, so he did it. So of course he feels some type of way about that. Um but would he ever act on it? No, but because he's getting all these visions fed to him and dreams fed to him and all this stuff. But there's a clip in the trailer that shows Rhaenyra flying to Dragonstone. So Rhaenyra is going to do what Viserys never did, which is Rhaenyra is going to give Daemon the attention that he wants. So like when Daemon goes off to Dragonstone, steals the egg in season 1, Otto's like, the king would never lower himself to this mummer's farce. Like, Rhaenyra comes and takes the egg from Daemon. So I feel like there's going to be like an echo of that scene where she's the queen and she's going to lower herself to go to him at Harrenhal.
She does. I mean, in the trailer previews, it shows her set out on Dragonback, and it looks like she's engaging in some sort of excitement, if you
I
will.
just
It doesn't
hope
look like she's just taking a flight to spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to go claim King's Landing because Aegon has been spirited away by our
yeah.
favorite
We see the
but
Isle of
British
Faces. We
dude.
see the Isle of Faces next to her, so she's going to Harrenhal. But I just hope that the show doesn't play it that the only reason that Daemon supports her is because no one supports his claim.
Well, yeah, that's
Because
exactly what they're going toward.
yeah, I don't like that. That's crazy. That's craziness.
Yeah, I
That like
agree.
you basically take a character whose whole drive and motivation is the love that he has for Rhaenyra. Well, it's about being Targaryen. He's the Targaryen of Targaryens, but he loves Viserys and Rhaenyra in a way that almost you can't explain. They're almost like the same person. Like she's an extension of him, so of course he loves her. You know what I mean? She sees her as the female version of him. So for them to say like, "Oh, no, actually he only supports her because no one supports him." When we saw that, like it backtracks on his character development that they've done so far. Like at Driftmark, "Come with me, uncle. I need you, uncle." And he doesn't want to. Like he doesn't want to. He wants to go back to Pentos with his daughters. And she's like, "I need you. Like the Greens can't easily test my claim with you next to me." Like it's her that's asking him to stay. It's not him wanting to stay.
Can I interject?
Sure.
This might be mental gymnastics to some people, but I think there is a possibility that Harrenhal and the effect it has on him is playing like The Shining. It's driving him to his worst
Yeah,
impulses.
it's driving him. It's driving him
So I
crazy.
don't. Yeah, so I think that if he wasn't under the influence of Harrenhal, there's a good chance that he wouldn't be doing a lot of this. Like I said, it might be mental gymnastics to some people. I'm not completely sold on it, but I'm not completely sold on it not being the case, if that makes sense.
No, I do think that Harrenhal definitely is the reason for this, but 3 episodes of Harrenhal ghost stories, like, can you all even tell when he's dreaming and when he's not? Because I can't.
No, honestly, I was gonna ask you, do you think the scene
There's
when
blue lighting
at the
when
end
he's
with all the river lords, if they're like, oh, we're leaving, do you think that was legit, or do you think that he was dreaming that?
So at first I thought he was dreaming because it was the same door scene with Aemon One Eye.
Yeah, because it looked like he was like kind of coming out of his sleep. For me personally, that was one of the scenes that I could genuinely not tell
Like,
I
how
so
much
didn't.
was real.
so when he has that dream of Aemond where he goes into Alice and he takes the weirwood paste or whatever it is, that scene with the River Lords opens just like that. So I don't know, like, if it is a dream and he's actually he's seeing what they're gonna tell Aemon One Eye, because when he turns around from that scene in the what is that, the third episode, fourth episode, when he turns around from that scene, he sees himself wearing the eye patch.
Turn around every now and then. Okay.
So I don't know.
Turn around one eye every now and then.
Oh, we do have two we have 2 super chats from April I did want to get to. So the first one we have is Rhaena should take Nettle's spot, in my opinion. Show's not canon now, saves money. This can still work with Rhaenyra's fears. It goes with Lena's question to Daemon in Harrenhal's dream. In the Harrenhal dream.
So
I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree.
Yeah, I disagree.
Spoilers. Okay, I've given enough of a warning. For Rhaena to take Nettle's place, there would have to be a very strong possibility that Rhaenyra will eventually want Rhaena dead in some capacity. I just don't know if that is the direction that they're willing to take with Rhaenyra. The show seems to very much want to, how should I put this? Because I don't want to make it seem like, oh, they're taking Rhaenyra aside. They are. But the show has decided to depict her in the light that the history books were very much vilifying her on purpose. Like, everything is a misunderstanding. She's a good ruler. She's a good woman. I love that. They're not willing to vilify her. At least they're not showing that they are.
So I agree with Jackie. No one can take Nettle's place. Like, Nettles is not just, it would be like saying you're cutting Helaena from the story or you're cutting one of Rhaenyra's children. Like, as little as Joffrey's mentioned, it would be like cutting Joffrey from the story. Cutting it, she has a big part in the story, and she has a lot to do with the evolution of Daemon's character. She has a lot to do. She plays significant role in the Battle of the Gullet, but also she has a lot to do with the dragon lore because she tames her dragon by using like in a different way. Like, she gets her dragon used to her before she like just goes up to it and is like, Dohera. She's like taking the dragon sheep and stuff. Like, and just I just feel like, okay, I'm just gonna say it. I feel like you cannot say, okay, well, we made all the Valerians black. Let's cut the one black dragon seed and combine her with another Valerian. That's not a thing.
Also, besides all the crazy implications that this would have by cutting Nettles and combining her with Rhaena, how would Rhaena eventually fall in love with like a Corbray if she's not in the Vale because she's with her daddy in Harrenhal? But
And
besides that,
she hatches the last well, not the last dragon,
but
but
the one last rideable one at least.
yeah, her dragon. Like,
They
and
did
a part of Rhaena's story is that she doesn't ever give up on her egg. Like,
Yeah, and the big thing I was going to say too, I think they learned that lesson with trying to cut Daeron. I really genuinely think they were going to cut him and realize afterwards, like, oh crap, we really can't, which is why we're getting these random name drops. He still hasn't been casted. I think that's what they're gonna run into with Nettles if they really tried running that Rhaena Nettles thing together is like, oh, okay, this just can't work. It just can't.
So, so something to consider is when Jace and Rhaenyra are having that conversation about, bringing the dragon seeds into the fold. They very pointedly talk about Rhaena and how she nearly lost her life when she was trying to claim a dragon. So that comment is not for nothing.
yeah. And
No.
if Sheep Stealer, like, you might see Sheep Stealer in the Vale. Rhaena might see Sheep Stealer in the Vale, but that might only be because Nettles is on her way down to Dragonstone, because we know that Nettles ends up in the Vale with Sheep Stealer in the lore. So I just don't think it's plausible. Ryan Condal is supposed to be a super fan. There's just no way he's gonna cut Nettles. I can't see a path to do that. Like, I could see you cutting. I see, like, okay, you cut Maelor. Maelor really just is there to die at Bitter Bridge. Nettles has an actual role. She's a dragon seed.
Actually, agree. And I want to expand a little bit on the Maelor thing. I think actually cutting Maelor is better because now this leaves Aemond as the uncontested heir.
Yeah.
For Aegon's side. I actually really like that a lot. We also did have another super chat from April. Maybe Alice is testing Daemon to later help him in general.
God's Eye.
Oh, and God's Eye. Sorry, that would make more
Wait,
sense.
yeah?
Yeah.
God's Eye?
They're
God's Eye.
doing,
That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
They're doing a trial run to see if he'll be able to become a green seer. I think he's failing.
He's not flying.
Getting the Euron treatment.
He's one of those. He's one of those bodies of bones that Bran crashed into in his coma dream.
You got any corn?
Corn.
Corn.
Yeah.
She's old Nan.
Yeah. Like, I can't see it. There's no way.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest. I like Harrenhal because I like witchy woo-wah stuff. I need Daemon to get out of Harrenhal because I am so tired of Daemon and Harrenhal.
Well, in the
give me something else.
It shows him flying down the steps like Cinderella to get to Caraxes. So
if I could see just everybody have a time, like if Rhaenyra does look like she's going to visit Harrenhal at least, or he's going to Dragonstone, one or the other. I'm assuming she's going to Harrenhal because why abandon your post, Daemon, just yet? Actually, wait a minute. No. Hold on. Wait a minute. If Daemon is physically flying to Dragonstone, Harrenhal would officially be unattended. That means that gives Vhagar the perfect opportunity to head over there, which means King's Landing will therefore be unattended.
I mean, I don't.
So we could possibly. The only reason why I'm saying all that, we could still possibly get the taking of King's Landing by the end of the season. Is all I'm saying. Is we got enough time that we can still make that maneuver.
Yeah.
But
well,
if Rhaenyra does go to Harrenhal, I want her to have
Harrenhal to help Rhaenyra get to King's Landing. It was all planned rather than like Scooby-Doo revolving doors. Haha, uncle, and he's not there because Daemon happened to be somewhere else. Daemon very much banked on the fact that Aemon was going to come for him. I think we would need to see more of Aemon being baited in before we're gonna get more of Aemond as Prince Regent before he leaves that post.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna leave until Daemon. Obviously, we know he's not gonna leave until Daemon takes off, but I think
No.
Daemon's departure, if it's not next episode, it's definitely the episode after that. Like
I say final
he
episode of the season.
really,
Yeah.
I
I
think he's
think
gonna be
that's
out by no later than the penultimate. Like you got to be out of there by then. Just because I'm like, we still have a lot to get to in the grand scheme of things.
I okay, question. They kind of suggested, I don't remember the exact wording, but in Rhaenyra's council, they suggested that Vhagar is she's a little tired. So I do think Melee's did some
Beat her
damage. Like
butt.
Vhagar's gonna need some rest time, some recuperation time before she's good for flight again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Not
I also
flight,
could
but
see
fight.
Aemond being wildly impatient.
Yeah.
I mean, Vhagar has to eat. The army has to eat. They wouldn't get to Harrenhal if they get to, like it would take them. It took them 4 episodes to get the Rook's Rest.
Oh,
Unless
sorry. I
they're
mean, like, oh, keep going. Go ahead.
unless they're gonna like do some season 7, go to Eastwatch, go to Dragonstone, come to the beyond the wall stuff. I don't think it. I think it probably gonna end with. I think it's gonna end with Vermithor being claimed and like Vermithor in like last season it went out with the Blacks on a low, Luke dying. This season I think it's gonna be like, okay, the Greens are done next season.
Yeah. Oh, kind of like the finale, kind of being the like all the dragons kind of being claimed and then like mounting up.
Yeah.
That's good because
That actually would be nice. I
I'm
would like
not
that a
willing
lot.
and ready to part ways with Simon Strong right now.
Yeah, me neither.
That is he
I'm
is my
gonna hate
favorite.
that. I'm gonna
You
hate
know
that.
what though? Like
Well, we only. Oh
when he woke up Damon and Damon was basically like, "Why are you so excited? Is the pudding being served?" That like don't do my boy like that. So,
I just.
Simon is just trying to vibe. He's
I
just
just got so sad.
Oh, one scene I wanted to talk about that
We're
we
gonna
didn't
leave
talk
him and then
about
he
when we
goes.
talked about Bela was when Jace is like, "I'm going to Harrenhal to treat with Daemon," and
Oh yeah.
she like rolls her eyes and is like, "Oh, hold on, wait a minute, getting a little bit ahead of yourself, buddy." It
she
was
was calm
like,
with him up until he said she she was dealing with him the way a fed up parent would. Like, oh, look what the cat
and
Period.
dragged him.
watch it back, and look at her body language, y'all. It was so funny.
The moment he says Damon, she's like, watch yourself. Utter another word. I dare you. And he's like, well, never
Yeah.
mind.
But I do feel like I also think that Jace feels some type of way that the burden is being placed on Bela. It's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
he feels some type of way. He's a protective prince.
Yeah, he feels bored. We did have another super chat from April. Thank you again. Not sold if y'all think Daemon loves Rhaenyra like I do, enough to give up his power hunger only to fall in love with Nettle sexually. Grr.
I don't think he falls in. I do not think their relationship is sexual. I know
I don't either.
a lot of people do think their relationship is sexual. I don't. I think their relationship is very teacher student. I do think Nettles possibly could be a child of the forest. I know a lot of people don't like that idea, but I personally do love that idea. That she could be not necessarily, she might not even be like a child of the forest, but kind of like a Jenny of Oldstone's character, where she has some children of like she knows some stuff. She knows some stuff. And
Yeah.
it's already hinted at that you don't need Valerian blood or Targaryen blood, because it's not even Valyrian blood. It's Targaryen blood specifically to ride dragons, because Adam, they say Adam is Laenor's kid, but Adam is Corlys's kid, and his mom nor Corlys are dragon riders. So I don't know.
So
I thought it was just well, I know like specifically at least for dragon lore, it's usually the Targaryens because for the Valyrians left, we have what House Celticar, House Velaryon, and House Targaryen. So like out of those three, only the Targaryens were dragon riders. But I could see, I don't know, maybe Corlys has like a great grandpappy that was a Targaryen. I don't know.
Right.
Well, they're
Well, I mean, it could
Velaryon,
be.
or
It could.
that they're Valyrian. It's
I
more
know,
like,
but
but Velaryons traditionally ruled the sea, but they're still Valyrian. They
they
just
weren't.
didn't,
They weren't
I feel
dragon riders in Valyria,
because
and
they,
all of them that are dragon riders are half Targaryen.
yes, because they weren't bequeathed dragons. Like they came over to, like they had settled on Driftwood, not Driftwood,
Driftmark.
Driftmark. They didn't bring the dragons with them. The Targaryens brought the dragons from old Valyria. So all the dragons that were there belonged to the Targaryens. The Velaryons, like you said, they only had them when they like married in with the Targaryens, and they were half Velaryon and all this other stuff, but they're still of Valyrian blood.
Right. But I don't think it's Valyrian blood because everyone that lived in Valyria didn't ride dragons. There was only like 12 families that could ride dragons of all Valyria.
I
And like
think that was
with
so I don't
Adam,
Well, it was
Sea
like
Smoke in
can I
the
say
show.
something real quick? Sorry to cut you off. Just a slightly just thought here. I think the 12 families thing was more like a caste system type of thing, not that other Valyrians didn't have the ability. They just weren't granted the access to dragons. Doesn't mean that their blood still didn't have the ability
well, it
to
wasn't 12, it
be able
was
to
two
do so.
score. That's
Oh,
48. A
whatever. You know what
score
I
is
mean? But like
$24.
the point that I'm getting to is the ruling class probably were the only people allowed access to dragons. Does not mean the smaller houses didn't possess the ability to ride dragons. They just weren't given the ability to do
I
so.
mean,
Yeah.
the dragons weren't caged in Valyria. They were free. Anybody could just go claim
Yeah, but
them.
you could claim them, but you really think somebody, if you're in the lower system, you really think they're just going to let you claim it without a repercussion or a punishment? There's probably punishments in place for that kind of thing, like
Yeah,
social
and where are you gonna,
constructs. But
yeah.
I don't
now we're
know.
kind of getting in the weeds a little bit.
The show depicts Sea Smoke stalking Adam. So like sea Smoke is like following Adam around and shit.
Because Adam has Valyrian blood.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that yeah, we're splitting hairs at this point on this one, but I'm trying to think. I think we kind of got to the big points of this episode, more or less.
Yes. Also on my TV, I have the screen of the dragon in question that looks just like Daenerys's dragon on pause. That is Silverwing, I'm pretty sure. Sea Smoke had like
Yay!
slightly, that's not how Sea Smoke looked last season. I'm pretty sure that's Silverwing.
Do we think we get Sea Smoke and Adam next episode or the episode after that? Because I would really like that by the end of next episode, so he can meet with Rhaenyra the episode after that.
I'm not
Personally.
sure. I'm not
think
sure
it's
what we're gonna get week to week.
I think it's gonna be Adam claiming Sea Smoke first.
Yeah, because they've already kind of been teasing it a lot, and also we've seen that image. We still haven't seen that of Cyrax and Sea Smoke on the beach, not talking to each other, but dragon talking to each other. We still haven't gotten that one yet.
Oh, Jackie C brought up a good point.
Oh, well, that changes things.
Yeah.
If Mouse is a Targaryen bastard, all right, cool. Thanks, Jackie. You just solved that problem.
The girls don't have to fight. We weren't fighting.
We weren't. Look at you, Jackie. That was a good idea. One last super chat from
Thank
April,
you for
and then we're
being
gonna
our
head out.
marriage counselor.
You were. Thank you. So last super chat from April, and then we're going to head out for the evening. By the way, just a note, in Got Hardhome, Night King raises hands like Daemon on Caraxes. In this episode, he says, raise army, not corpses. Creepy, huh?
Well,
Hmm.
I will say, stealing girl children in the night and carrying away wives is very wildling. It's very much wildling behavior.
It is very much wildling behavior. Very much
But
north of the
no, he's
wall.
not the Night King.
No, but I do think
I like
there's
the
more to
parallel.
Daemon. I do like the parallel too. But I think
Yeah.
there's more to Daemon. And
What
his
does it
witchy a lot
say?
of mess.
History rhymes. It doesn't.
Unless the Night King is like Bloodraven and has to be replaced every whenever.
Mm.
In that
Like
case, it's probably Aemon with his sapphire eye.
Ooh. Now
That
we're cooking
chin.
here. I'm like, ooh, now we're cooking here.
Edric Storm is big mad right now. He does not like our theories.
I'm like mad with you, bro.
So next week we have another guest. We do. You know him on Twitter as A Knight of Ice and Fire, otherwise known as Kendall. That is his real name. He will be joining us for the 6th episode. I feel like a reply guy to everything he tweets. Like every thought he has on A Song of Ice and Fire is just absolutely gold. So I'm excited to have him on the show talking to us about it in real time. So, yay.
Yes, so he'll be joining us next week live after the episode. I still can't believe we are like getting close to the end. After next week, we have the penultimate episode. Like,
I want 10 episodes. Where's my 10 episode? This is not fair.
Honestly,
this feels like season 7 and 8 all over again. Heinous.
Yeah, especially after this Harrenhal fiasco, I tend to.
We never talked about how Daemon had sex with his mom.
I didn't
we
want to
talked
think about it. I just didn't want to think about it.
What
I
is
didn't
there?
want to
Okay,
think about it.
get your thoughts out then.
I think both of you thought it was good.
Oh no, I thought it was absolutely horrible. That's why I didn't want to talk about it. I
Okay.
don't even have a still of it.
I
but
hate it, and the
made me
only
wanna
way I
throw
can
up,
deal
and I
with it,
hate it.
no, the only way I
Hate
can
it.
deal with it is by making you so mad.
Okay, so we
Like,
all hate it.
antagonizing
Okay,
you about
great.
it.
Oh,
No,
hard
no
in
one
the
likes
sand.
that.
Absolutely.
No one liked that. In fact, I had to
hated
do
it.
mental gymnastics and be like, well, his mom is
Also-
dead. It wasn't his real mom. He didn't know it was his mom. He wasn't actually doing his mom. It's not his fault. It's not. But no.
Can we talk about the whole well, you didn't know your mom. Daemon knew who his mom was. He was, I think, like what, like he was a kid, like a small kid, but he had memories of his mother.
In episode 4, I think it is, like they're talking with Daemon. Daemon and Viserys are talking, and he's like, "Yeah, you were mom's favorite. I won't argue about this." And then, a pity you didn't know your mother. What?
Yeah, I feel like
I'm not gonna lie, that
reaction.
scene made me so mad. I had like a very visceral reaction to that scene.
Oh, I did too, and I really think the only reason he looked at her that way was kind of like, "Did you know I had that weird, freaky dream about my mom?"
I think that was the only way they could justify bringing in. I think in the writer's room, they're like, what if we brought in like a mystery Targaryen? Like, yeah, let's do it. What if we brought in this like mystery woman? Yeah, let's do it. Who's it going to be? Oh my God, it's going to be his mom. You know, and I feel like the only way they could justify him not knowing that he was banging his mom until the end was like, let's. But MJ, you said this is a different writer you've never seen before, correct?
Yeah, I didn't know who the writer was.
Well, I know who it is. There was a writer's strike kind of happening while this whole show was.
Yeah, I feel like this.
So a scab wrote this, is what you're saying.
I think this was very. I think so. I'm thinking that's what this.
No, actually, I looked it up. It's George R.R. Martin's like assistant, old assistant, or.
That's why she's his old assistant.
She's like a lore master for House of the Dragon. So
she
should have said something about those contacts that weren't there. If you're gonna make it Alyssa, at least do the 2 colored eyes at the
give her a broken nose.
Yeah, and if you're not gonna do the broken nose, again, you could pop in one contact.
Yeah, she was serving. She was serving.
Mother was mothering, literally.
But also, I thought he realized that was his mom because she kind of was calling him like son and very hard, heavy-handed, indicating that that was his mom.
Well, I mean, at the end, she said, "My favorite son," and
I
then he
did
was like,
notice.
and he had
oh, I mean, she
blood
kept
on
talking
his
about like,
hands. It was so nasty.
I mean,
So
she kept
I
talking about
did.
Viserys. That's also obvious.
Not that I want to be like, let's get into the detail of this Oedipus incestuous sexy scene. Anyway, I did notice like everything that happened in that scene, he initiated all the touch. Don't get me wrong, she was receiving, but I feel like they're really trying to throw deep meaning behind this, not just like, wouldn't it be fun if he effed his mom?
Well, yeah, because they're trying to show that he also like Gray said, they're pulling that super hard, heavy-handed parallel thread between him and Aemon. Like Aemon has to sleep with a prostitute that breastfeeds him because he loves
Sex
his mom and
worker.
has mommy issues. Whatever. Yeah, you're right, sex worker. And then Daemon is now having visions of his mommy because we know he doesn't mess with sex workers that have milk going on. I don't understand it. I
The
just think
chat,
it was goofy.
the chat wants to know: was he actually having sex with Alice, or was he dreaming? Like, was he actually having physical sex with her?
I hope not, because when you think about it, that would be assault. And I don't really think that's an
Yeah.
area they want to go in that direction. There'd be no point to it. It would make things like very complicated and convoluted. And it,
Yeah.
I don't think they want to put any more essay than they have to
My
into
thing
the
is
series.
agreed. I get what they were going for in this scene. I just really think it was super unnecessary. And this was just a unfortunate cross of writer strike issues. Assuming
Scabs.
well, I'm not gonna say
I do want to
scabs.
say
I'm gonna say at least like it just suffered rewrites not happening.
I do want to say that if you do like it, it's fine that you like it. I just don't. It's just my personal opinion. I'm passionate about this stuff.
If
And
there
I'm
was
gonna agree
no
with her.
Daemon doinking his mom, would you like the episode more?
I would like it more, but I still wouldn't love it
So
because
that's
of
what this is about.
I would like no, it's not just that. It's his whole story line. It's the way they're hammering these parallels between him and Aemond that don't need to exist because there's already enough of the basic ones to exist that exist.
I
And
agree.
I
I
feel like
think they did a good enough job when he cut off Aemon's head and Aemond was looking at him like he had a chubby.
yeah.
I think that did enough right then and there.
I feel like there's other moments though, like where it does show through, where it doesn't have to. I don't know. I feel like some parts of it are a little too heavy-handed, but sometimes people just don't understand subtext. But at the same time, I understand like some of you guys are saying that we're kind of overreacting a little bit, and again, we understand it's a dream. We get that, but there are so many other things that the story could focus on rather than Daemon having an Oedipus complex that we never knew about and using that as a way of a means to be like, yeah, because you want to be king, right? Like you could have just kept all the other stuff in there and just cut that one little bit out of it.
Was Daemon in the brothel uh breastfeeding on Massaria? No, he was banging it from the
Well,
back
Like
no.
a rabbit.
Yeah, but actually, wait a minute. Also, think about it. Massaria in the books has like the Targaryen, like 613 blonde hair. So like
Yeah. I mean, for sure. I get that part.
maybe it is
Mother
the
But
lover.
mom. Maybe it is.
but I mean his wife has the 613 too.
Yeah, good point.
Also
This is a
his
type.
niece. I mean,
Also, everyone in his family that he feels are blood of the dragon. Like that's the thing with Daemon. Like that's why he never liked his wife. Like who is this sheep lady trying to tame the dragon? Like he had a whole Viserys moment. Like
I'm not saying what happened to her, she deserved that because she didn't, but she was pretty rude. It could also be because she was a bitch.
I think
I don't think she
let's just
deserved to
say
get.
it didn't happen in the books. Daemon was actually in the
Yeah.
stepstone. She lived for 10 days after
Well,
the
we don't,
event.
we
Yeah.
don't know. We don't know that it happened. However, her horse did fall on top of her. Her back was broken. She died somehow. I'm not saying she deserved all that. She was being rude to her cousin too. He literally did nothing to her. Okay, maybe he, goes after her womanhood
He
behind
did
the
say
scenes. I don't know.
he said to Rhaenyra, when Rhaenyra was like, why haven't you had kids? He was like, kids won't grow in such hostile fertile.
Oh, Daemon.
But yeah, like, I mean, the two episodes of it, like the scenes with Rhaenyra, I get those scenes. Like those scenes are there to show, like the dreams with Rhaenyra. Those
Serve a better
dreams are
purpose.
there to serve a purpose. They show his dark desires that he keeps sheathed inside of him that he would never act on. But the
Like when
mom,
he cuts off Rhaenyra's head.
yeah, he'd never do that. But the mom thing is like, what?
Yeah.
I
I
think,
feel like
okay,
the
so
Rhaenyra parts get it over with.
honestly, I think it's very Freudian. Me saying that is not this super deep thought. I think that he is a person who is very desperate for validation. Every human being wants validation. His mind went to subconscious places. Who should give more validation than anyone else in this world? And that is a mother, not.
Okay, so I lied. One last thing before we leave. I thought it was really cute that Aegon said "mummy" after.
Oh, that
Martha
was
walked away.
cute.
I didn't have captions on, so I didn't know what
He said it really. He was like, "Mommy."
It's like
Aw.
right after
But
she walked away.
I feel they actually made him sympathetic, which I didn't think they could do. But I think it's more so he's sympathetic because he's next to Aemon and
Yeah.
and his killing machine Vagar, who like
Oh,
just
I
kills
know.
everything. And then here's Aegon with the cute dragon that chest bumps him and fist bumps, and it's like, "Rah!"
It could
I don't
speak
know.
English.
Yeah,
Like, look at
speaks
that.
English. Like there was a
It
meme and it
speaks
was like
English. It has to.
there was a meme and it was like the maester decided to train Sunfire to speak English because it was easier than training Aegon to speak Valyrian.
I saw that movie was great.
But can we talk about the previews
Oh,
for next week?
sidebar.
It totally shows Aemond hovering over.
I just want to bring this up to, yeah, I agree with you, Edric. Watching a hot D without captions is wild. Yeah, Alisha.
Yeah.
You know what else?
Gotta.
Listen, I love chaos in my life. I only suffer from not very good auditory input every now and again for the most part. Captions actually take me out of what's going the details of
I'm
what's
the
going on.
exact opposite. I can't hear without my captions. I watch everything with captions because that's how you
I catch like
everything.
90% of it usually. I guess the danger
But you
with
missed the mummy.
streaming right after, yes, that is the danger when you stream right afterward. But I have always preferred to watch House of the Dragon, Game of the Thrones without captions. And if I really miss something, I'll go back and I'll watch it with captions or I'll rewind that. Streaming right after the episode, not as able to do that. So I'll admit it's, playing with fire, but whatever. Get off me.
I want to
Yeah.
leave you guys with this thought. This episode made Daemon more forgiving than Daenerys.
Oh my god, it really did. They put them in the same scenario, and Daemon was like, "Yeah, y'all can go." Oh no, I take back everything I said. Daemon should just burn him on the spot.
Never
I take it back.
mind.
Recant.
Okay,
burn 'em on the
hear
spot,
me
burn 'em
out,
on the
hear me
spot.
out, hear me out. Daemon has always had other Targaryens examples to figure out what is a good idea, what's not a good idea, all this other stuff. Dany has been running blind her entire life.
There.
I mean, Dany was right to burn Randall Tarley.
Yeah.
And
Like-
I'm saying she's not going to do the.
You don't
She's
think
not
she's
going to do. She's when you have a dragon, and there's no other example to teach you directly or for you to see for yourself. Everything she knows about Targaryens are through really old books or through the account of her brother, who is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You know, there's no one there to teach her. It's one thing to like be taught how to rule, but to be taught how to rule with a dragon, she never had that. It's a different ball game. You know, it's different to threaten somebody with your dragon versus like threatening them with a sword or, you know, like your army or whatever like that. Let me do mental gymnastics. Leave her alone. She was a babe
and
in the
also
woods.
shout out to the dog, the bestest dog in the entire series.
Caraxes?
No, the actual
Oh!
dog. Cheese's dog.
Oh, Cheese's dog. I was like, Caraxes. Yes, so that dog. Oh my god, that cute little puppy babe. When the dog was in the background of Allison and Chris and Cole talking, I almost passed out a little bit.
He
Like,
reminds me, do you remember Beethoven, that movie from the 90s?
Yeah.
yes.
That little Frankenweenie dog that's just always in the background in every
Mad
single.
disheveled.
He's gonna no, because he's gonna be there. He's gonna be there in the courtyard. Spoilers. When Aegon kills Rhaenyra, he'll be there. He's
I
gonna
would
be
die.
there for
You know,
everything.
all right,
He's
can we
gonna
just
be our
be on
fun little
dog
Easter
walk?
egg buddy.
Edric
We're
said
gonna be
he's
on
gonna
dog
claim
watch.
cannibal. Well, you know, Edric, the way it's going, you might be right.
You might be right. But all right, on that note, we're heading out. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
We will see
Good
you all next
night.
week.
Love you
And have-
all. God bless
Yes.
us, everyone.